catch it, 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 catch it. Oh, that was really easy. Didn't even need to put it to sleep or anything. I was tempted to revive High Noon to put it to sleep, but I didn't need to. I see, you are skilled. More skilled than my vest t-shirt. I don't know what the deal was with him. Because the emails made it sound like they were trying to big him up as the sort of post-game... Wow, I only got 9 grand for that. Sort of the post-game major villain. But they just failed. You know? He was no threat. He was just one guy in a Colosseum. And he had a Shuckle which was bloody 15 levels lower than just the weakest Pokemon in the Colosseum, so I don't know what the point was. Anyway, I now have all of the Shadow Pokémon that I know about. So, I guess I'll just head to the surface and see the next email. I guess I can go and start purifying them. Of course, any suggestions for Shuckle, send those over. And now, I have a big task ahead of me. Because I don't think this series has met... Oh. Hang on. What's with you, Dash the Athlete? I'm Dash from Fennec. Who? How did you get this number? I'm just an ordinary citizen who happens to run around the town's fountain. Oh yeah, you. So what gives you the right to have your Pokemon attack me? You don't deserve any respect as a trainer. Shame on you. Wrong number. Anyway. Yes, there aren't many episodes left. I'd guess 3 or 4 maximum. So, in that time, I have to catch any remaining Shadow Pokemon, purify all of them, and go through Mount Battle twice. So, I'm going to get started on that right now. I've chosen 6 Shadow Pokemon at random, and I will show you the way that I have discovered is the most efficient way to purify Pokemon in Colosseum. You go to Mount Battle, you start a new challenge, you go up to the trainers. Now Makuhita's already half purified, but Remoraid is completely closed off. And what you do is you just use Shadow Rush. That's all you ever have to do. Well, almost. So you continue to use Shadow Rush, and because Shadow Rush is a good move, it will probably knock them out. That's why you start at the bottom, so you don't get knocked out instead. Every time you send out the Pokemon, it purifies them just that little bit, and then you sometimes get Hyper Mode. Oh good, both at once, that's convenient. Because Hyper Mode is the single best way to purify Pokemon. I'll drop it back down to normal speed for this. When you call them, it takes a chunk out of the Shadow Gauge. A massive chunk. That is the single largest chunk you can take out in a single go, except using the Time Flute. So what you do is you just go through Mount Battle, using Shadow Rush to try and get Hyper Mode, and then you purify by calling them. Each new battle you enter will also help. It requires absolutely no concentration or coordination because Shadow moves are effective against everything. And every time you get a Hyper Mode, that just makes your job that little bit easier. And now that I think about it, maybe this is why Mount Battle starts at such low levels, because it's intended for you to use it in this way. That wouldn't surprise me, actually. It's also worth noting that Hyper Mode persists between battles, so you don't need to make sure you've called it before the battle ends. And eventually, all the Pokemon will be ready to undo the final lock. And in this case, Makuhita's ready, so I'll switch it for a different one. Although, if you're going to be sensible about it, you should really start with the lowest level ones at the bottom of Mount Battle and then just work your way up. But it really makes no difference what level the opponent is. You're not gaining experience. Well, you are gaining experience, but only when you unlock it. You don't care about the experience. It's all about the hype. Oh shit, I meant to use Hyper Mode. It's all about the Hyper Mode and the sending it out into battles. That is entirely the important part. You know, just out of curiosity, I just googled sort of the quickest ways to purify, and apparently, and I didn't know this, the different methods are affected by the nature of the Pokemon. So different natures are best in different ways, like some you're best leaving at the daycare, some are best through battle, etc. I don't have the patience for that. I really, really do not have the patience to work out which is best for which. This method is very brute force, but it will definitely work over time. You don't have to reload saves or write down natures or spend a load of in-game money at the daycare. You know, it's all just a time commitment. And time is less valuable than in-game currency, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, that was a long, like, I don't know, probably hour and a half. But I now have a team of 6 who are ready to have the hearts unlocked. While I'm on my way, I did discover an extra little technique. Switching Pokemon gives them the little bit of unlock that sending them out originally does. But unfortunately, I thought that might be a nice exploit, but it seems it only works the once per battle per Pokemon. So you can't like repeatedly swap two Pokemon in and out to fully purify them in a single battle or anything. That doesn't work. Oh yeah, let's check this email before I forget. List completed. Net from the Under. Hi, it's Ned. I analysed the Shadow Pokémon list some more and discovered the very last one, the last Shadow Pokémon with Togetic. Completes the analysis, the data route. How does he know it completes it? Surely, you know, what he doesn't know, he doesn't know. So Togetic is the last Shadow Pokémon. I have all but one. And now it is time to do some purifying. So, if you suggested nicknames for any of these, it's time to purify Makuhita, Houndoom, Piloswine, Sudowoodo, Flaffy, and Remoraid. Is Flaffy right? I feel like I heard something different to begin with. I don't know, that was hours ago. Makuhita, the first one I caught. Loads of nickname suggestions for this one, including a duplicate of Geran. Makuhita opened the door, regained foresight, a lot of experience, a ribbon, and a nickname. So the suggestion for loads of suggestions, like I said, the one I'm going with is Sandbag, because apparently that's what Makuhita's designed after. The little tie knot on top is supposed to be a sandbag. Personally, I don't see it. I've never seen a sandbag that looks like that, except a literal bag of sand. No, sorry, it's supposed to be a punching bag, but anyway, yeah. Sandbag, I thought it was a cool, cute nickname. So thank you to whoever suggested Sandbag. And there are more. Houndoom, one of the later editions. And yet one that had suggestions quite early, I think. I really like Houndoom. I prefer Houndour, but still. So, several good nicknames for this. Some that work with various genders. I have no idea what gender this one is, but the one that won is a gender-neutral one. Eclipse. I just think that's a really cool name for a Houndoom. The runners-up were Dante and Persephone. Persephone was really good, but I'm afraid Eclipse just about won. Just out of interest. It was female, so Persephone would have worked. I kind of wish I'd gone with Persephone now. It's a good reference. Anyway. Next up, Piloswine. See, Piloswine's always smaller than I expect. I always imagine it to be huge because sort of mammoths were believed to be huge. And I suppose that's why Mamoswine is much bigger, but still. Ooh, 10,000 experience. And it leveled up, wow. Only the one nickname for Piloswine. Fenor? I don't know. I don't know what that's a reference to. If whoever suggested it could let me know. Or if it's a reference to anything, might not be. Half down. Next up is Sudowoodo. You can just imagine that the last couple of episodes, probably the penultimate episode, is just going to be a string of purifications. What I will probably do is not... Oh wow, leveled up twice. Is not show this whole bit, and it'll basically just be a string of nicknames. That's a downside I didn't foresee with this one. So I think when I do Gale of Darkness, I will purify them as I go rather than in a big batch at the end. There were 3 suggestions for this one. I went with Naeem. Is that how you pronounce that? I could be wrong. Just because the others were essentially references to how he's not actually a tree. And that one, at least, I don't know if it's... I don't know where that one comes from, but I thought it was different. And Fluffy. The plus side for Gale of Darkness is it is a lot more geared to let you purify without having to fuck around for hours. And I'm looking forward to that because that's going to be really fun compared to this. Marianne. There was Marianne, Alex, and Dolly, which was a kind of a cool cloning reference. But I thought Marianne was just a really pretty name. And the last one I can currently do is Remoraid. Remoraid also leveled up. I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Really not surprised. It was such low level. My god. At least they do it separately. Like, what was it? Oh, and it... Bloody hell, it's evolving. Okay, sure, yeah. Didn't expect to see this. Hello. You know, I don't think I've ever seen Remoraid evolve. Octazooka, definitely. Wow, he's got a nice selection of moves. Let's get rid of Bubble Beam. Well done, Octillery. But you get a nickname. I'm not sure it's going to fit anymore. So almost all of the nicknames were very, very direct references to guns. Except 2. There was Shotso, I think is how it's pronounced, which is a kind of a cool name. But I like the vaguely subtle reference to, and again this one's a gender one, but I have no idea what gender Octillery is. It's fine. Bayonetta, which presumably was suggested because she holds guns, and Remoraid looks like a gun. But now I'm going to say it's because I guarantee there is a very dirty joke I could make there, which I'm not going to, you'll be very pleased to hear. Anyway. So those are the first 6. I'm gonna go get the last Shadow Pokémon. And, hello? The Time Float. Time Float. I'm gonna go get the last 6, and there is another Time Flute, actually, now that you mention it. There is another Time Flute I do need to get. Until I have some idea of where I can go get that last Shadow Pokémon, I'm going to go for the final Time Flute. And for that, I need to go all the way to Area 10. I mean, you know, sort of spoiler alert, I know where the Time Flute is, but anyway. Well, you finally marched your way up to Area 10. I, Tando, shall meet your challenge. I mean, you don't need to, you could just let me pass. No? Okay, sure. You put up a decent fight. What was it? Tando, yeah. A worthy trainer you are. I'm working on my Yoda impression. What's a Yoda? There are just 9 zones to go, don't falter. Yeah, I was going to come 91 zones up and then give up. Fro, young one, it's good to see you've climbed this far, but your climb stops here. No, it doesn't. Guarantee you, Pan. No, it doesn't. Yay, High Noon leveled up. Because I swapped it in very briefly in order to get the experience and it almost got knocked out. I love High Noon. Just 8 zones left, don't lose your focus. Ooh, it's a long way down. Yeah, hi Rui. Yeah, I can see you. Not gonna wait back though. Wow. You're going to knock me out? That's impossible. Well, I don't know. No one would know, Quint. The only person who would see is the person on the zone directly above, and that's only if I do it far away from the edge. But if I like walk with you to the edge nearest the mountain and quick bonk on the back of the head and down you'll go. Forever. No one would know, no one would ever find your body. What? Nothing, I'm just discussing how I'd murder you. I need to start thinking about my levels, because if I've pretty much just got knocked down and out, yeah, that's knocked down and down.
I thought I was tougher than you.
Not going to say there are only 7 zone left? No, okay, sure. Oh, okay, yeah. Alright, I take back what I said. She would definitely have seen me murder you. Alright, you've always got to pay attention.
I think it's stupendous that you've come so far. But that doesn't mean I'll ease up on you.
Wow, that took a turn. I'm going to have to start paying attention to levels, because if I only have one last Pokemon to catch, and then all the purifying, I still have to go through Mount Battle again on battle mode rather than story mode, and I have never done that. But if I understand correctly, what you have to do is sort of you use your team, and the levels of the Pokemon you encounter are between 50 and 100, I think, with them being the level of your highest level. Wow, it froze. Huh. The level of your highest level Pokemon. So if I went in with Pokemon ranging between 61 and 64, they'd all be 64, which is fine, because, you know, to be honest, I'm barely going to use High Noon, forgot his name again. I love that the frozen ones don't move at all, even when they faint. That's a nice touch. Spring Rain leveled up. But yes, I need to make sure that my levels are all comparable, so that when I go there I can fight them on level footing. Because although one level's unlikely to make a lot of difference, it might make some, so I want to be sure. Castleform's really weird with those little boob-like things it's got underneath it. To be honest, that's kind of what puts me off ever using it. It's got weird disembodied boobs. Midnight leveled up. Cool.
Ho, 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 ho.
What?
That was the most wonderful battle. There remain but 6 zones. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. It's really weird that they let children stand here so fucking high up on a volcano.
You're now halfway through Area 10. Getting complacent now can ruin you.
I'd need to get really complacent, Chrism. Ooh. Sorry, my secret's revealed. I've been battling on fast forward and I forgot to turn it off before the end of this battle.
You're not bad at all. We had a good battle, thanks.
Yeah, I better switch High Noon in, get it some experience, and sure, Dawn.
Woohoo! You came all the way here. Excellent, excellent. I'm getting fired up.
No, I think that's just the volcano, mate. LOL.